bad? Am I saying something strange? Okay, so we're going to use our bats to spell change agents. So who is going to do the change? Oh, you would have to. Yes, you. And then you do in the what? The agents. Now you both choose to be spectators. So you're going to follow their instruction. However they choose for us to spell it, that's how we're going to spell it. All right? So we're going to start with the word change. All right? So you spell C-H-A, or we'll go all the way, right? So you have to be very creative to help us to spell change agent. Okay, so we're spelling the change. All right, sure. So let's go. Starting with the alphabet C. So how do we go? Okay, so like example, C. How does C look like? Right? So that you spell the letter C. Okay, so let's go. C. All right, all of us, let's go. Oh, we are doing an exercise. Let's go. C. Uh-huh. Okay, and then we go with the letter H. We're doing small H or capital? Small, okay, small H. Let's go. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. A. H. Okay, I'm lost. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay. Okay, let's go. He's the one leading. So we're following his lead. Okay, let's go. Uh-huh. 1. Okay, so we come back. Okay. Uh-huh. That's H, okay. And the letter A. So let's go for A. Okay, let's go A. All of you. Please participate fully in this, right? Okay, then we go for the letter N. Okay, and we go for the letter G. Okay, let's go. The letter E. Okay. All right, so that's for change. Let's clap for him. Okay, so we go for agent, right? Okay. Capital A. Okay, let's go. Capital A. Follow the lead, please. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. All right, sure. And then we go for G, small g. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay, let's go. I need your full attention here, all right? Let's go for the E, the letter E. Okay, let's go. Some of you are just standing there. You don't even know what is going on. All right, let's go for the letter N. The letter N. Okay. And then the letter T. The letter T. Uh-huh. Okay, let's go. All right, wherever you are, the last letter, all of you should be involved. That is the letter S. The letter S. Change agents, plural. So let's go for the S. Uh-huh. All right, let's clap for them. Okay, thank you. Thank you. You can take your seat. So that's just to get us exercising and in a fun mood. You've been sitting for some time now. And again, I want to say that we are so proud of you for having dedicated your time to go through this training process and to prepare yourself for whatever God has for you. I'm particularly proud of you, and I want you to clap for yourselves again. Sure. So we're trying to wrap it up, and it's important that you write something that you're going to go home with, right? Something that you're going to make reference to. So we'll be talking about writing your mission statement. And I want you to be able to write out some things before you go home about how you're going to craft that mission statement. So I have different mentors. I mentioned to you, Pastor Joy is one of my mentors, and I told you the things we tell you we practice. So, and one of my other mentor is called Dr. Yao Pebi. And when I was listening to Andrew talk to you about keeping yourself pure, he has an organization called the Heart Group. The Heart Group is a human development organization. And one of the missions of the organization is to raise godly leaders. And godly leaders means that we want people who have their character right, who have their values right, and who are determined to make impact without compromise in the world, right? So one of the things we train on also has to do with relationships. And I was going to tell Pastor Joy, it's one of the things we should do for you. We had a card called the ATM card. ATM card. You know, A, and then there's T, and then there's M, right? But that was not just for the money ATM. What it meant was for abstinence till marriage card. Or pairs or wherever it is, and you always make reference to it. So wherever you go, you know that, I've made a vow. And it's a public vow. So, like here, I would have signed it and everybody knows. So I know you signed it. You know I've signed it. I can't come and, no. But you said abstinence till marriage, right? So it becomes like a public consent. So your group of people keep as a guide as well. And once you've announced that, you're always also trying always to keep to the vow that you've made, right? It's a good policy. It's something we should do. Yeah. All right. So probably would do that, and we would have that as part of our vows that will keep all of us till we marry, right? So it is a good thing. I signed that, and it was the same thing that Pastor Joe was telling you. Until we married, there was nothing sexual, right? So I want you to sign that as well. It protects you. It keeps you. Okay? All right, so we're talking about mission statement. So Dr. Pebi defined a mission statement as an inspiring and empowering document that in your own words, so that's what I'm saying, you're going to write your own mission statement. But this is just to guide you. What? Your commitment to what? To God's general purpose for your life. And it expresses what? Your specific sense of purpose and meaning in life, your values, your desirable character traits, and your role goals, invariably painting a picture of the kind of legacy you want to leave. Earlier on, we talked about what? Purpose, right? So Pastor Joy mentioned to you, we talked about plan, talked about purpose, and now we said that you should be able to write it in a way that empowers you. So it's a document that you can put on the wall, and every day you wake up and you read it, and it's inspiring you because it said, this is what I have to be about every single day. I just gave you a brief. I hope you're understanding it. The second part of my mission statement talks about the fact that I want to raise what godly leaders in the marketplace, people who can navigate the marketplace, and talents and ideas that can be deployed to make influence for God. And I think I've been doing that the whole day here. So again, I feel fulfilled towards that. So what we're saying about your mission statement is that whilst you discover your purpose and all of those things, you craft it in a simple statement. Now, when you wake up and you read it every day, it inspires you to go out there to do what you have to do. Like Jesus read his mission statement to us. When he got to the scriptures, it says, it's written of me, I come to set the captives free. So you want to state that this is what I want to do based on God's revelation to my spirit of what his purpose for me is. Is it clear? You have clarity of what we are talking about? But what we are saying is that, please, can you help me? The IT guys. Okay. What we're saying is that this mission statement should have what in there? It should talk about your purpose, God's purpose for you, right? It should talk about what? Values that you want to hold dear to you. I hope you're with me. So somebody says, one of my values is integrity. Integrity. Everywhere I find myself, I want integrity to show up. So that's a value you hold dear. Somebody says it's honesty. Somebody says it's purity. And we'll be talking about that because I want you to write those things down, right? Individually, we're going to do that. We say you should also talk about your character traits. So what are the kind of character traits that you want to demonstrate? You will list them, and it should be in that statement when you are crafting that statement. I hope you're with me. And then you're going to talk about your goals. What goals do you want to achieve? It should be in that statement as well. So it's not something we do in a day, but we're going to start the process because you have to reflect and think and put them all together in just one simple or 2, 3 statements. But it's very powerful. So when you wake up and you read it, it charges you up for the day, and you know this is what I'm pursuing. Are you clear with me? All right, so, and ultimately, it's about you wanting to leave a legacy. So when life is done, like Pastor Joe was telling us, at the age of 82, you look back, you say, yes, I've lived true to this statement that I wrote when I was 18 years, when I was 25 years, when I hope you get it. So that's what the purpose or mission statement is about. But there are characteristics of the purpose statement or mission statement. So one, it is principle-centered. When we say it's principle-centered, it means that it's based on ideas that are unique and unchangeable. They are things that define and they are unique in themselves. Example. Okay, I'll give you an example later on. It's character-based. Character-based, we've just talked about it. So you're going to state a character trait that you want to live by. So that's also going to be in that statement. It's holistic. When we say it's holistic, it addresses and integrates all 4 fundamental human needs and spheres of life. We'll go into that also. It captures your what? Heartfelt values. We just talked about the fact that you have to state your values as well, right? But like I've mentioned to you, it's obviously not written in a day, but we're starting the process, okay? And then it agrees with God's script for your life. Don't forget, when we talked about purpose, what did we say? We said purpose is not about what? It's not about what? It's not about you, but it's about God's purpose for you. So that's God's script for your life, all right? It represents the deepest and the best within you, okay? Let me not go through all of this, but that's basically, like I've said, we'll be sharing all of this document with you. But then you have an understanding of what purpose statement is and why it is unique and why you need to have it, all right? Okay. So this is what I want to talk to you about so that it can help you. So benefits of purpose statement. Somebody says, but why are you all saying we should write this thing? I mean, should we write a purpose statement? Yes, it is important you write because it provides the first creation of desired results of your life. What do we mean by that? It means that it becomes the template that guides how you navigate life every single day. Right? It's created and it's documented, it's coded, it's made plain. So you read it every day and you know this is the direction I need to be going. If it guides you, and we'll talk about some things now. So if it guides you and you have to choose between 2 things, okay, you have to choose between going to the library, right, today, and going to call a friend in town so you guys will roam about. And your purpose statement tells you that you should be reading a particular kind of book by the end of the month, right? And it's left with 2 weeks for the month to end. There's a lot of things on your desk that you've not completed, that you have to be attending to. And this guy is calling you to just go and roam about. Which one will you choose? Which one will you choose? You go to the library because your purpose statement is giving you a direction. So you're not just walking around aimlessly without a direction. I hope you're with me. So your purpose statement helps you to give a direction to your life every single day. So as much as an act of discovery, art is an act of creation. So we said it's not in a day. So as you are creating it, you are writing it down, you may be shaping it again. Because again, we told you what? Purpose is in phases. So in this phase of your life, probably this is the direction God is giving you. But maybe in the next 10 years, he may be giving you a new direction like Pastor Joyce talked about. There are new encounters and God is telling him new things. So you shape and craft it again, right? It encourages you, even focuses you to think deeply about the direction of your life. If you don't have it documented, you just go by the day. Anything goes. I hope you're understanding me. All right. It helps you to examine your innermost thoughts and feelings. So if you're making marriage decisions, you want to go back to your mission statement and find, what does it say? So can I just marry anybody? Can I just go along with anybody? No. So your decisions with regards to your feelings, emotions, and thoughts are guided, right? It defines what success is to you. So that people that are not just drawing you to anything at all, right? Again, it expands your perspective about life, and it provides you direction. Okay, we talked about the value part, and then it makes you consciously work on your character. Because you know where you are going, there are some temptations, they don't even come your way at all. Because you know, Charlie, where I'm going, I need not do some things. I hope you're with me. There's been this whole thing about Me Too movement some time ago, where ladies come out and say, hey, this man slept with me, this man raped me, this man, and some of them are genuine. But the point is that if you're a gentleman aspiring to some level of position in society and influence, you are careful not to even create that situation that somebody will come in tomorrow and say that you raped them or you compromised with them. And this is what we talked about, sexual purity and all of that. So you have a guided direction for your life. And if you are a lady too, you're not doing all this sugar daddy, sugar mommy things, because at the end of the day, somebody may want to entrap you and record video, tape you and all of that. Tomorrow you are aspiring for some big position and then they leak your sex video or whatever it is. Quite embarrassing. And the world is so complex now, and that's why we're having these conversations with you. You may be doing things innocently, thinking that nothing matters, but somebody has an agenda for what they are doing. And I don't think any of you want to have your sex videos out there. There's a lot of viral things going on, and people are recording people even when you don't know. You think you're just having fun, I'm having sex, and somebody actually planted some video somewhere and is taping everything. You're cool like that. And you're walking around, nobody knows what's going on. Then somebody throws it in there, social media, Facebook, everywhere. Say, hey, this guy. So if you saw your life day, you know, we're saying that you have to be intentional about life. And this is what guides you to be more intentional, right? Okay, so we're talking about shape. It provides impetus and framework for the fulfillment of your unique shape or nature. It gives meaning to your life. It simplifies your life. It focuses your life. And it helps in making choices between what is a good thing and God thing. There are some things which looks good, but not really God's plan for you. You have to choose between those two things. Like we said, 15, what does it do? What does 15 say? You know who to marry. So it's not just anybody at all. It clarifies your roles. It motivates your life. It helps you align your attitude and behavior with your beliefs. We talked about beliefs, right? So you see how all of them are coming together. It provides a basis and framework for setting what? Smart goals. So we'll be asking you to set smart goals. And we'll be talking about that shortly. It prepares you for where? Ultimately. What does it prepare you for? Eternity. We want you all to make heaven. In the midst of everything, we want you to make heaven. All right? Okay, so let's look at the parts of mission statement. So now we get into it. So the first part is that it needs to be spiritual. So that's spiritual goals that you have to set, which are part of your mission statement. And this is where we will be writing. So work with me. So affirming the general purposes of your life. Under spiritual goals, I want you to write this. 1, worship. Your life is supposed to bring pleasure to God. In everything you do on earth, it needs to bring pleasure to God. Right? Okay. So you need to note that. The second part of your spiritual goals has to do with fellowship. You have to keep fellowshipping with other believers. That's why you go to church. That's why you go to home cells. That's why we have meetings like these. That strengthens you. So fellowship is also important. All right? And then the third thing is discipleship. Discipleship. So you continuously learn and you are mentored and you are also mentoring people. 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 2 actually says that, and the things that you have heard from me among many witnesses commit unto faithful men who will teach others also. So all the things we're doing here today, really, we don't want it to just stay with you, right? You have some good friends probably who are not able to come here. How are you going to share with them so that they can benefit from this? So earlier on we talk about 3 levels of relationship. One of the things that keeps me, and I'm sure that's what keeps Pastor Joy in his track of life, and I like to share it most of the time, is that I know one of my mentees or two of my mentees are going to come to me one day and ask me some questions. And I need to be in position to be able to respond to them. That gives them confidence to also continue on the path they are. So we talked about the fact that people are sleeping around and they think that it's okay and it's cool. And there are lots of young men and women who will tell you it's cool. But there are also young people who want to stay pure, right? And they believe it's the right thing to do, okay? And they may walk to me and says, Adam, I'm really having this challenge. My sex drive, I have this strong sexual urge. I want to sleep with my girlfriend and all of that. But I don't know how to go about it. What do you think about it? I say, you know what the Bible says, do not fornicate. You can stand strong and firm and all of that. And he says, okay, so Bryden, when you were having your relationship, did you have such challenges? I say, yeah, I had such challenges. And he said, so Bryden, did you sleep with a girl? Yeah, that's the moment of truth, right? And so, okay, two things can happen. And I thank God I'm in a safe space. So if you say, oh, yeah, I did, but you can stand strong. It's true. But it doesn't give him so much confidence. Like if I were to say, oh, I didn't, I stood strong. And by the grace of God, you can also stand strong. It's more empowering to him or her. I hope you're understanding me. And when I was growing, that's one of the things that motivated me. I said, I want to be so much living a life that when somebody comes to me, the person can find an example in my life to say, because Brother Adam stood firm, I can also stand firm. And when I'm telling him or her, he or she is not thinking that, oh, if you cry, you are not able to do it. Then if I even fall, it's okay. I hope you're understanding me. But then I always like to balance this out to say that, so by the grace of God, just like Pastor Joe was telling you, I also, by the grace of God, I've told you about the ATM card we had. So it was a public confession we had there. And interesting for what I do, and I'm telling you, that's why I'm proud of some of the things we do. Just imagine I came here and I spoke to you and told you all of these things. Then I go out and I meet her somewhere in Accra. I've forgotten that I met her here. I'm trying to run her into sleep. Bryden Pa. No, I hope you're understanding it. So for me, the things I do in terms of speaking to people and confidently telling them all of these things also becomes a guide to me. I've met people so many at different places. Oh, Bryden, I remember you when you came to speak to us. So just imagine. So all of these things for me are guides to say that, no, you have people that you are mentoring, and you always need to keep shining the light for the positive for them to follow. Examples. Why am I telling you this? So what I'm saying is that it's not enough for us mentoring you. We are expecting that you will also have people that you are mentoring. And because those people are looking up to you, it becomes easier for you to always stay the path. Because you know there are people that are looking up to you, and you can't disappoint them. I hope you're understanding me. So that is important in your journey. So I said I was balancing it out. I said, but there are people who had already done all of those things. You might also have learned from your experience. So it's okay for you to still tell them that, you know what, I did it unfortunately. Be open to them. I did it unfortunately. But I learned from it, and I realized that it's not the safest path to take. I know it might break your confidence, but I'm telling you the truth. It didn't help me. So I want you also not to do that. And you have the courage and you have the strength. And I'll be here to provide you with the support and the advice so that you don't continue in that path. That is also possible. So if you have fallen, this is the right path to go now. But those of you who have not at all, don't be deceived by many people to say that everybody is doing it. I hope you're understanding me. And stand firm, because there are lots of examples for you to say that the people are standing strong, so you can stand strong too. Right? So that is discipleship. So you will be discipling other people. One of the things change agents do is that they provide roadmap for other people, because you are setting a pace. It's a difficult thing people are not trying to do, but you begin to do it, and you say, because I've done it, follow me. I'll lead you through the path that is possible. I hope you're understanding me. So in your spiritual goals, you need to have discipleship goals of what you're going to do and how you're going to lead people in a path that can help them. Then there is service. We've talked about service today. Pastor Joy talked a lot about service as well, serving people, serving God. And then there is the evangelism. So that's the spiritual part. All right, so you need to set goals for all of this. And we would give you the template you could set goals with. So this is the spend time to talk about, and I'll come back to it in another form. But shape basically talks about, so write shape like this. Pastor Joy told us to write it yesterday. So please write it. Write your shape. I'll come back to the personality part. So S, A, P, E. Can you write it? And then the S, make it spiritual. So that's your spiritual gifts. Please write it down. Spiritual gifts. So that we don't delay. Let's go straight into it. So spiritual gifts are gifts given to us by the Holy Spirit of God. Right? And once you are born again, the Holy Spirit of God comes upon us, and the Holy Spirit of God gives us different kinds of gifts. So once you're born again, you are supposed to be desiring spiritual gifts. So let's read Romans chapter 13, Romans chapter 12. Let's read from verse 3 to 8. Who can read for us? Somebody should read for us quickly. Those are the ones I want to emphasize on. I think you opened the wrong one. Is somebody there? You open for us? Just read. Who is there? Romans chapter 12. Oh, you are there. Romans chapter 12. Read from verse 3. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Read on.
Members in one body, but all the members do not have the same function. So we, being many, are one body in Christ, and individually members of one another.
Okay.
Having then gifts different according to the grace that is given to us, let us use them. If prophecy, let us prophesy in proportion to our faith.
So that's one of the gifts of the Spirit. One of the gifts of the Spirit is what? Please write them down. Prophecy. Read on.
Or ministry.
Or ministry. That's service.
Let us use it in our ministry.
Okay.
He who teaches in teaching.
Teaching is also another spiritual gift. Please write it down. Yes, go on, please.
He who exhorts in exhortation.
So exhortation, motivation. There are people who actually encourages people. That's another gift, spiritual gift the Bible is talking about. Some of you thought teaching was just like, teaching is also a spiritual gift. So note all of this down. Go ahead.
He who gives with the liberality.
So there are people who give. Like, he can give. And like, it's not just like I'm sharing cake with you. He gives. And you're like, how can you give like that? It's a gift. Right? It's a gift that people have. So he can share. It easily shares with people. Easily gives to people. That's another spiritual gift. Please, I hope you are writing them down. I told you we're doing the exercise at once. Yes, go ahead.
He who leads with diligence.
So there are people who have the gift of what? Leadership. They're administrators. They are good with it. It is a spiritual gift. Are you with me? Okay, read on.
He who shows mercy.
So there are people who are very merciful. It's a spiritual gift.
with cheerfulness.
Okay.
Let love be without hypocrisy.
Okay, so let's end it there for now. So these are some of the spiritual gifts we have listed, right? We're talking about shape. And what we're saying about shape basically is that sometimes your shape helps you to discover your purpose and mission in life. I hope you're with me. So the first part we're talking about is what? Your spiritual gifts. Now the second part is the age, which we call the heartfelt passions. The heartfelt passions. So what are the things you are passionate about? So someone should share with us. What are some of the things you're passionate about? What are you passionate about? Go ahead.
Singing.
Anything that you're passionate about. Things that get you angry. Things that irritate you. Things that you love to do. Like when you are doing it, you don't get tired. You are passionate about it. Have you seen the words I've used?
Yes.
Things that irritate you. You can't stand them. Pastor John told us one of the things that irritates him is disorderliness. He can't stand it. Right? One of the things that irritates me is I can't see people not fulfill their potential. Like I know you are so good at something, but somehow you're not fully utilizing it and becoming it. Like it frustrates me. You can't stand with me and I'll not see that you are developing. Like if I see that you have some good stuff in you, if I have to give you books to read to begin to help you to grow, if I have to mentor you to begin to grow, like those are things I'm passionate about. And I'm sure you can feel it throughout the times I've been speaking to you, because I can't stand it. Like I think there's so much more you can do. There's so much more to life. And I'm so passionate about it. And I'm so passionate about leadership. I'm so passionate about raising leaders. Right? I'm so passionate about getting people to have the right mindset and belief systems. Like, it's my passion. Those are things I'm passionate about. I hope you're understanding me. So what are your passion? What are the things you're passionate about? Somebody is so passionate about seeing. So this is when I'm talking to you. When I'm walking the street and I see a madman, like my heart bleeds. Do you know why my heart bleeds? I'm like, this is a great potential. Like, this is a possible engineer to become. This is a president to become. Somehow the devil has imprisoned him and we can't utilize his or her potential. I hope you're understanding me. When I see people being imprisoned, and these are potential people who could have become great people in society. Somehow the devil has imprisoned them. They've stolen or they've killed or something, and they are in prison. Like, I'm worried. Like, it pains me. My heart is burdened with it. That is passion. Somebody cannot stand street children. And you see them begging on the street. It's like, where are their parents? What can we do about them? Can't somebody take care of these people? Like, what can I do to help their situation? That is the heartfelt what? Passion. I hope you understand. Somebody sees somebody dress. Why do people just dress anyhow? Can't they put some style in what they do? Like a little, it's a fashion designing, whatever. And he wants to beautify them. But they say, this place is too plain. Can't we put some balloon here and this and that? So that's what they're passionate about. I hope you understand it. Somebody says, I don't like to see people being abused. Why should people be raped? This is so wrong. I can't stand it. These people need to be put in prison. There's no justice in the system. I want justice all over. That is passion speaking. The question I'm asking this evening is, what are you passionate about? What are the things that gets you angry? What are the things that irritates you? What are the things that you want to change in society? So please write it down, at least 3. What are the things you're passionate about? What are the things that gets you angry, irritated? Things you want to see change. 3 of them. 3 of them. And then I'll call you to share with us. 3 of them. Like 3 things. There may be more. So if you have more, and as you are writing and they keep coming to you, put them down. Write them down. Because these are the things that will be shaping your purpose, will be shaping your mission statement. What are the things you're passionate about? What are the things you're shaping up? They are thinking about. Somebody said, I don't like the way. One of the things I also don't like so much is when I see young ladies being talked down at. People say, and women cannot do this, and women should not do this, and women, but they have the potential to do it. I'm passionate about it. So I've actually written a book on it. It's still hiding there because I don't think the time is right. But I've written about it. It's titled She. And I challenge some beliefs in there strongly. Some of them you may disagree with me, but that's how passionate I am about it. I hope you're understanding me. Yeah, what are your passions? 3. Just 3. Just 3. Right? Okay. I'll come back to you. So please don't forget, we listed the spiritual gifts. And I want you to state what your spiritual gifts are as well. What do you think are some of the, not just the ones we've written, there are more. Some of you are gifted in singing. It's a spiritual gift God has given to you. Some of you feel like you have some strong sense of word of wisdom. Sometimes it comes to you strongly. And you speak it and people say, oh yeah, there's so much wisdom. About the situation, you provide a solution, wisdom of God. It's one of the spiritual gifts you can have. So write it down. Write the heartfelt passion. And then the A stands for abilities. Abilities. What are some of your abilities? What are some of the things you are good at doing? It's your ability. One of my abilities is speaking. Communication. Right? You can give me from morning till evening to be talking. I'm fine. My energy will keep coming. I'll keep talking because it's one of my strengths. It's my ability. I talk well. I know how to talk. That's one of my abilities. Another ability I have is I think I'm able to persuade people and negotiate. You may look at it as skills, but it's also an ability. There's an ability and then there's skills. When you develop your abilities, it becomes skills. So there's a skill in communication, right? But you have a gift. You have an ability to speak. And then you develop the communication skills. You have to polish it. You know what to say, when to say it, how to say it. It's all part of polishing that ability. I hope you're with me. So somebody's ability, so let's go to natural abilities. Ability to play football. Somebody plays football. Somebody plays the drum. Right? That's ability. Somebody sings. That's ability. Right? What are the other abilities you know? Somebody's able to analyze things deeply. That's an ability. Somebody's able to take care of people. Caring. Nursing. Caring. Says, hey, me, I don't like to see blood. Oh. But she sees blood. She's still cleaning it up. That's caring. It's ability she has. Hey, blood there. No. It's ability. Caring. Somebody's ability. Serving. There are people who can serve, Hey, it will get to your heart. If you're not careful, you marry wrongly. Just because the person served you so well, like, hey, can serve, I need to marry, but maybe it's not aligned with your purpose. But maybe some people too is aligned to their purpose. I'm just saying, as these abilities, right? What other abilities do you know? Mention them. You know them. There are things you do very well. Ability to write. So in the communication thing, there's someone who speaks. But there's somebody who cannot speak so well, but he writes so well. And when he writes, he can convince you. Right? It's an ability. What are the other abilities we have? Please mention them to me. Making people around you happy. How do you do that? The how is the ability. Let's see the ability. So somebody can crack jokes. He's humorous. He has the ability to create fun. So when he's there, everybody's happy. His ability to do that. Say again, cooking. Cooking is an ability. Yes. Some abilities. We all know, we learn how to cook, but there are some people who really cook. Right? Ability. Say again. Teaching too is an ability, and that part of it would be the ability to simplify complex ideas. Right? That's an ability. Because it's not everybody that can simplify complex ideas. Somebody, even if he tries to tell you, the more he tells you, the more the thing is confusing you. That's not the person's ability. But there are some people who have the ability. Like, they explain it so well, so that it's so much. It's like, hey, so where have you been all this while? If I had you, I would have passed my exam long ago. It's ability. What are the abilities you have? Please list 3 abilities you think you have. Write it down. So all of them, be writing it by the side of what we're writing on. So we are now on abilities. So write three main abilities. Ability to persuade. Ability to raise fun. Like, just come and say, Charlie, I'm going to raise funds here. And it's raising fun. Ability to organize people. Say, Okojo, you come here. You, like the story that Pastor Joy shared, that guy has the ability to organize. He doesn't have the money, but he's seen a problem. He says, okay, how do I organize this? Let me go to the king. So he's organized the king. King, who are the people who have machines in the... Okay, so he organized that person. Okay, how can we get money to fuel the, Then quickly he goes back to school. He's talked to a few people. Organize. The ability to organize. What are the abilities you have? I want you to write 3 abilities you know you have. Abilities. Have you written it? Okay. Pastor Joy. Pastor Joy. Okay. Have you written the ability? The abilities you have you written that? Okay, so whilst we wait for Pastor Joy, I need to pick something from him. Let's try to share now. Okay, so who is willing to share? Your name? Margaret. Okay, so tell us about the 3 you've written so far. So you tell us about your spiritual gifts, you tell us about your heartfelt passions, you tell us about your abilities.
Okay.
Hold on, sorry, just a moment. Please just give me a minute.
Tell somebody finish her.
The machine was almost getting off. So
that Bible.
All right, please go ahead, Margaret. Share with us your spiritual gift. 3. At least you listed 3. Okay, go ahead.
The ability to talk positively.
Spiritual gifts. So we taking the first 3. I'm sure you listed them, right? So your spiritual gifts, what did you write? So you have teaching there. You have leadership there. Okay, and then exhortation. That's fine. Okay, so your heartfelt passions. What are things you're passionate about?
Eradicating poverty.
Okay, poverty eradication.
Financing the kingdom of God.
Wow. Charlie. You have kingdom financiers. Okay, kingdom funding. Yes, and the last one? Or you have just two?
Yes, please.
So you have just two. That's great. That's fine. I mean, but I'm excited. Are you getting the picture now? And we'll try to put it all together and you see how it looks like. Okay, so tell us about your abilities. Singing. Reading.
Writing.
Writing. Okay, these three. Interesting. Okay. Who else wants to share with us? Let's clap for her. Who else wants to share? Please, the spirit. Let me catch the spirit. Yes, please share with us. There's a lady who wants to share with us there. Like by now, you should be active, proactive. The hands should be flying into the air. Let me see that, yes, you've gotten the spirit now, right? Okay, please, your name. The ladies are winning. Oh. The guys, where are you?
And please, I'm Laura.
Nora, okay.
Laura.
Laura, okay,
Yes,
great. So share with us. That is spiritual gifts.
Giving, service, exhortation, and then leadership.
Giving,
Service, exhortation,
and
leadership.
Interesting, amazing. All right.
And
Charlie, people do. Okay, your heartfelt passion.
About orphans, relationships.
Say again.
Orphans.
Orphans. What about orphans?
I'm passionate about them. Like, I want to help them in every possible way to succeed.
Okay.
And I'm praying that by God's grace, I'll reach a level that I can actually reach out to them.
Awesome. Now, you see, Pastor Joy talked about something that we're all going to do projects. Can you see the projects emerging from here?
Yes.
You see how it's all coming together? Yeah, we're going somewhere with it, right? So orphans,
About relationships.
Relationships. What about relationships?
Yes, more like counseling.
Counseling. Okay, relationships. So, okay.
And self-development.
Self-development.
It's also more about counseling too. So.
Okay. All right, sure.
And
Self-development, counseling. Abilities.
So, leadership with initiatives.
Take it easy. Small. Leadership,
Planning and coordinating events.
Planning and coordinating. Singing.
Management and orderliness.
Okay.
And then writing notes.
Say again.
Writing notes.
Hey, Charlie. Then ciao. Anyway, that's great. So let me try and pick these two before we come to the last two parts of this. All right? And you see how they all align. So let's take the first person. The spiritual gifts are what? Teaching, leadership, and exhortation. Can you see that? And then when we come to her heartfelt passions, she's talking about poverty eradication. She's talking about what? Kingdom funding or financing. And then she talks about her abilities as what? Singing, reading, writing. What I'm expecting to see in her going forward is that you should be wanting to read more about this. I hope you're understanding me. You should be wanting to read more about poverty eradication. And you should be reading more about kingdom financing. So those are books that should interest you. And then not only that, you need to begin to write about them. So you can be writing articles about them. You can be writing short posts about them. You should see that very often in your Facebook post and all of that. Because those are things that actually get your attention, right? And if you have the gift, I don't know if it's just the singing or if you have also the gift of creating songs, it should begin to feature in your songs. You should be writing songs about these things that you are passionate about poverty and how poverty needs to be eradicated. I hope you're getting the picture. Now, let's come to here. So now beyond that, you should be teaching people about how to eradicate poverty. Now you need to be exhorting people, the exhortation, you have the gift of exhortation, encouraging people about how they could come out of poverty. and then leading people on ways to create wealth. So you see how they are all kind of coming together for you? That's how it looks like. So let's go to the next person about their gifts. Their spiritual gifts are what? Giving, service, exhortation, and leadership. And then when it comes to here, the heartfelt passion is what? Orphans, relationships, counseling, and all of this. And then it comes here to leadership, planning, coordinating, writing. So again, you see clearly that she has the gift of exhortation. It reflects here in what? Counseling. Can you see it here? Can you see it here? She wants to counsel people. She wants to see people develop. And then also orphanages, orphans. She wants to help orphans. So you can use that gift of exhortation and leadership to take them out of there. And then service, again, it comes down to the orphans. How do you serve people like that and bring them out of their difficulties and bring them to a good place? Again, you can see here giving. So giving to orphans. Are you seeing how they are all playing out together? So really, by this, you can see where God is trying to lead you towards. The things that God wants you to do. The things that God wants you to, problems God wants you to solve in society. Are you getting the picture now? So that's where we're going. That's why I said everybody needs to participate. Because then that's the only way we can guide you to begin to see clearly what the projects you'll be working on and what God wants you to focus on. So please don't miss out in this conversation we are having. All right? Okay, so let's go to the third part of the shape. That is P. P. Where is the coordinating team? Do we have the assessment for the personality, the link? Can everybody have it right now? Okay, so where are we having it? Are you putting it on WhatsApp platform or are we writing it out? Okay, so are you all on the WhatsApp platform? Okay, so look on the WhatsApp platform right now. Have you put it there? The link is there. I want all of you to take the test right now. So do that right now. It's part of the exercise we are doing. Please, can you open the internet in case people don't have data on their phones so that they can use it for this purpose right now? Give them the password, or you can help them with the password. I don't know, or if you change it later on, whichever way. But please, let's do this right now. Can you see the link on the WhatsApp page? Those of you who are not on, talk to any of the coordinators so they add you to the WhatsApp page right now. Please, let's do this. I want you to do it right now. This is critical part of what we've been talking about till now. Who can see the link? Who is on the WhatsApp page that can see the link? You can see it. Who else can see it? Hey, why are you all quiet on me? What's the challenge? Are you on the page? You're not on the page. Coordinators, please, can I have you sort this thing out right now? Otherwise, you can give me the link. Let me write it on the board, or somebody writes it on the board. Please, quickly, very fast. Yes, do it fast, please. So it's www, those of you typing, you can type it out. www.freeshape, FREESHAPE, www.freeshape, FREESHAPE, freeshapetest.com. Have you seen that? It's on the board there. www.freeshapetest.com. All right, I want you to do that quickly. Do that quickly. It's for you. It's some of the tests that you take. And when you know these things early, it helps you. Some of the jobs that you seek, one of the questions they ask you most of the time is, what is your personality type? Some of you don't even know your personality type. You don't even know what that means. That's why I told you this session we're having is very important for you. So quickly, just Google that, www.freeshapetest.com, and take the test right now. It's a simple exercise to do. Please do it quickly. Who is done with? Are you done with yours? What's the challenge? You don't have a phone. Okay, okay. But those of you who can do it, please do it quickly. And if you are not able to do it now, when you go home, please make sure you do it. Okay? Because I'm trying to see whose work we can look at to give you an example and a template so you can go home and appreciate what we've done today. Right? Okay. Who is done? If I can have 2 people done with it, I'm fine. I'll use those people as examples. Okay, you're done with your test. Okay, so go to the board. Write on the board your personality type. Who else has done that? Who else is done with the test? Oh, when you say test, sometimes people think that it's exam difficult. No, it's just something that shows you the kind of personality type that you have. All right? It's more of self-awareness. So it's a test you do that shows you who you are. So we want to see what she has so I can explain to you here. What's the personality type? No, just give me the. Doesn't it have the letters? The results. Okay, let me see. Okay, introvert result. Okay, that's fine. Please use this link instead. 16 personalities. 16 personalities. .com. 16, as in the number 16. And the word personalities.com. Use that and do the text for me. I just need 1 or 2 people so we can use that as an example. Right? Finish strong. Finish strong. And write, if you don't have your phone here, if you can't take the test here, write the website or the way down. When you go home, you find a phone to do it. 16personalities.com. And just take the test. Okay, I can see somebody doing here. What's your name?
Setuchinam.
Okay, all right. So finish and let's see if we can use yours as an example. How far? Okay. Team. Internet. Who is done? Just need 1 or 2 people. Okay. Let's wrap this up very well. Who is done? Anybody done? This question we ask very often at interviews. Say, tell us about your personality type. And that people will be looking at your face and say, I don't know my personality type. Do you know what that means? Like you're not self-aware. But self-awareness is part of your understanding of what you are about and why we should choose you or why we should give you the job. So what's your personality type? You say, I don't even know what that means. Yeah. So we're saying that at this part of our development, we want you to know your personality type. That's why we're having this conversation. Okay, I could jump through it, but I don't want to jump through it. I want you to take practical and remember this. And it guides you in the conversation. All right? Are you done? She's done. Oh, you don't want to share? Okay, please, your name. Franca. Okay, Franca, what's your personality type? You can write it here for me to see. You have 2 results. That means you took it the first time and you took another one. Is that the case? No, don't look here. Oh. I've not gotten to that part yet. So I just want you to take the test and let me know what the result you had from the test. If you look on the board, you may miss it. Okay. Franca. Are you done? Not yet. Okay. I can understand we're having some technical challenges for most of you, but that's fine. I just want to know what we can use to get this through. Okay, you done? Okay. You're almost sure, eh? What's the percentage you've reached? 40%, okay. So it's showing you how far you've gone. Okay, you have 38%. Okay, let's wait for them. Sorry, those of you who don't have data, just be patient for those who have to finish up at the weekend. What percentage are you on? 77%. Okay, finish hard. Are you on it? Okay. Where are you? And it has to be independent too. Otherwise, it will mix. If he gives you an answer, you will mix up your personality type because he's not the one. So that's why it's an independent work. It's your personality, not his personality. You have to respond to it as it relates to you. Okay? All right. I just need 2 people to close this up. Yes, you're done. Okay, so come and write it on the board now. Okay, who else is done? Uh-huh. So, yeah, that's fine. Write it there. Okay. The alphabet. Yes. So she has I what? Who else is done? Oh, by now those who were 70 and something should have been done. What do you have? What do you have? Can you read it out? What do you have? It's what?
Advocate.
Advocate. And the
Yeah.
letters are what?
INFJ hyphen T.
So you see here, she has I and what?
INF
INF.
J
And then she goes to this.
and T
She has.
and T.
And there's a T. Okay, so she has INFJT. Right? So we're just going to analyze her and see how that looks like for her. You have yours as well? Okay, somebody else have something different? Okay, yeah. Say yours is similar. Same thing. Similar. Similar is not the same. So let's hear you. What do you have? Okay, so she has IN
FJ
FJ
A
what?
A.
A. Okay. So you see, the first person has INFJ, but it's T. She has the same thing, but then hers is what? A. Okay, any other third one, and then we can go. Something different? Somebody has something different? Yeah. Personalities, yeah. Okay. So let's just analyze this person and then let's see. So, so you see on the board, at the first category, we're talking about the source of energy. So there are people that are strongly extroverted or introverted. So if your letter began with E, what it means is that you are more of an extrovert. And what does that mean? Extroverts are people who usually are energized by interacting with other people or participating in events. So you see, they are always high energy people, right? They love to talk to people. They love to make new friends. They are always in that space of high energy, right? If we were looking at a party, you're likely to see them as the people who are all over the place, party, jumping around, and they are actually different from introverts. So if your personality starts with I, what it means is that dominantly your source of energy, you are more of like an introvert. And introverts are people that are energized more by ideas and reflections, and they like to work alone. And they tend to analyze things a lot. So those are people like usually you see them as moody people, or they are all by themselves. They are quiet people. They are always reflecting. They are in that space, introspection. So if your personality, if you took the test and yours begins with an I, what it means is that you are dominantly an introverted person. If yours begins with an X, it means that you're dominantly an extroverted person. Are you understanding that? Then you come to the second part that talks about the processing of information. So there are people who we call sensors, or personality types that are sensors. What does that mean? These are people who are pragmatic realists, who focus on facts and their own real world experiences. So the experiences around them is what they focus more on. And they want to always talk about the facts, the figures, the numbers, the senses. And then we have the intuitive people. Now, intuitive people focus more on patterns and future possibilities, and they enjoy abstract thinking. So there are people that are abstract in their nature. They are philosophical in their thinking. They always want to see patterns in things. You know, that is the kind of personality they have. I want you to be looking at yourself right now, asking yourself, where are you falling, even though you've not taken the test yet? But those of you who have taken the test too, I'm just trying to make meaning out of what you have in there. Then the approach to decision making, there are people who are thinkers. Yes, please.
1 second. No, not the mic. So to help you just have an idea, what you do is that you don't need to fill all the forms now. What you can do is that as it's talk about extrovert and introvert, which applies to you. If you are an introvert, just like that.
Oh, okay. Okay. If you're not taking the test yet.
It talks about sensing and intuitive. If you are sensing right S, if you are intuitive right Y, the N. Is that okay? So by the time you finish explaining, you will get yours. And when you go home, you take the test.
And see.
You must do this and take the test on correct. Is that okay? All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you. That's helpful. Oh, let's clap for Pastor Joy for that help. Okay. All right, sure. So in terms of decision making, there are people we call thinkers, and these people actually are logical when it comes to decision making. They want to see, this thing you're talking about, is it logical? Right? Is it rational? Right? And they are highly what? Analytical. So if you have those people in your group, example, we're trying to make a decision, and somebody proposed an idea. There are the people who analyze the idea and tell you, oh, this one, I don't think it fits, or like there are those kind of people in your group. Maybe you are that kind of person, I don't know. But those people, they are highly thinkers. They're looking at the figures. They're looking at how logical is this conversation. And truthfully, sometimes there are people who marry and they are opposite. So example, feelers are the people who are careful in making decisions, right? They consider feelings more than the reasoning, right? And you need to understand they are not bad. It's just their personality type. Usually what we have is that we have people with these two differences conflicting most of the time because we are having a conversation and she's trying to analyze everything we are saying from a feeling perspective and you are looking at it from a logical perspective. Then there can be conflict, right? That's why we talk sometimes about personality conflict. And these things are important even when you are going to eventually marry. Because it helps in those conversations, you understand. And the purpose for it is not to label people, but for you to understand the kind of personality you are dealing with. It makes your career choices and even the things you do also easier for you because you know what you are good at and why you are doing the things you are doing. I hope you're having understanding of the conversation we're having. All right? So, and then we have the need for structure. So there are people called judges. Now, judges like to make plans and list things and follow schedules, and they are highly organized. Are you like that person? Are you the kind of person who wants to structure, order? Pastor Joy, is there J in your personality type? Uh-huh. So you want everything well organized, everything well structured, everything orderly, right? So this is the kind of person they are. Then we have the perceivers. Now, perceivers are spontaneous people. I have my boss, he's so spontaneous. Hey. He's so spontaneous, such that every moment you should be ready that things will change. And when you're dealing with those people, one thing you need to have is patience and speed. Because it can disrupt you at any time, and it can throw you off. And sorry for you if you are a judge and you are working with a perceiver. You guys can be in very conflicting situations most of the time. Because okay, I don't know if I'm a P yet, but I think I have a bit of it there. Yeah. Okay.
But later I saw myself
J. Okay. Okay.
The other thing you can do is look at the percentage of the store. It's a very good assessment. You tell the percentage of P you are,
And the percentage of the J or
if it's around 50-50 or 45-65, then you must know that you are dealing with it.
okay.
And as an example, people, those who work around me must know that I'm also spontaneous.
Okay.
Because I'm on the spot there,
Mm-hmm.
a person, and anything that comes out, I'll handle it as and when.
Okay, it comes up. Yeah, and that comes sometimes with experience. Whilst you're leading, there's a way you have to learn along. So that's why when it comes to personality, you don't have to stereotype people and say, oh, by you are a J or you are a P. It's more of an awareness to know. So let's look at the perceivers. So perceivers are spontaneous, they are flexible, they are highly adaptable to the outside environment, right? So, example, if we were here and you are a typical judge person, Pastor Joy gives us a program, all right? And he told you that Adam will be the one to speak first, and then Andrew will speak, and then Pastor Joy will speak, and then we come here, and then you see that, Pastor Joy is the one speaking first. But that's not what we have on program. Why is that happening? And you begin to question it. And if you're not careful, it can actually throw you off beginning, right? And if you have a spontaneous person, he can actually come, maybe he's the MC for the day, and you have the program lineup, he can turn it around and jam it up anyhow. That is a spontaneous person. My wife loves to plan. And even just before I came, Pastor Joy and I were having a conversation. So she wants, typical J, she wants everything well scheduled. Like plan, give her time ahead of time. Okay, I'm coming to this program. I should have told her like 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago. And she plans, she knows that it's well scheduled and all of that. And then here I am, I wake up and say, nah, I'm going to have a program to speak. And it's like, why are you doing that? Why are you throwing me off? Why are you? That's a different kind of personality. If I don't understand this, the kind of personality she has, we will always have issues. I hope you're understanding. But if she also understands that, this is the kind of personality I have, she would also understand that, okay, whilst we make room for planning, we need to make room for spontaneity. I hope you're understanding me. So the balance of it is important in defining your kind of person and personality you are, even the person you marry. And the reason why there are conflicts in so many relationships and marriages is because people don't understand their personality types. You don't even know yours, let alone knowing the person that you are dealing with. Right? So the fight you are having is not really supposed to be a fight. It's just an issue of your personality types. In the same way, if you have people on your team, and that's what we're talking about, because as change agent, you'll be forming teams. There are people you'll be working with. And you may have highly introverted people in your team. And if you're an extroverted person, if you're not careful, you can be pissed off with introverts. Like they are not moving. You want to move. And he's like, why are you dull like that? Why are you not active? Why are you not? And he's thinking through one idea. He's thinking about all the possible pitfalls we'll have and why we don't have to move right now and why we have to do it rather tomorrow. And he said, why haven't we planned this? And you are there. You're like, why are you doing this? Let's move. He says, no. So you need to understand your personality. Understand the personality of the people in your team. That's why it's essential for you to know. And as a leader, you should always understand the personality of the people you have around you. Because what might work for Margaret might not work for, what's the name? Prosper. So if I'm dealing with Prosper, there's a way I need to manage Prosper and work with Prosper. And there's a way I need to work with Margaret and get her going. If I want to use the same approach for them, I would cause a lot of conflict in the team. I hope you're understanding me. So, as change agents, you need to know what your personality type is. And then that will also inform the kinds of things you would do, even the professions you would. There are people who would do very well as media personalities because they would be in the spotlight, and wanting to shine, talk around, talk to people, engage people, and all of that. There are some people who would want to be behind the scene. And there's nothing wrong in being behind the scene so long as you get your work done. Right? So there are people like that as well. So it informs the kind of job you want to do, the kind of things that aligns with your personality type. I hope you're getting the picture now. Now, then the final thing we want to look at there has to do with experience. So that's the E. The E. And the E we talked about, and we tried to share some experiences yesterday. It could be positive or negative. But what we're trying to push attention to has to do with the positive sides. Right? And so I was giving an example, like maybe somebody when she was young, they were abused. Right? So because of that experience of abuse, they hate to see people abused. So they champion the cause of abused people. Said, I don't want to see people being abused. Sometimes that can lead to somebody wanting to become a lawyer, so that I can defend those who are constantly abused. Right? That's the positive side. I've told you about the negative side. Somebody can take it to another side and says, okay, because probably a young man abused me, I'm going to fight all men. That's a negative energy. So he's just fighting to cause revenge and trouble in society because he feels abused. But what we want you to channel that energy towards should be to defend those who will be abused and to protect those who will be abused. I hope you're understanding it. Somebody, example I gave also, somebody in charge happens to be an orphan. The father died, the mother died when they were young. I'm not saying that's her case. I'm just giving that example because she says she's passionate about orphans, so everybody will be looking at her. No, that's not what I'm saying. So there are people who parents died in childhood. And because of the things they went through as orphans, nobody to help them, nobody to support them, nobody to care for them, their school fees. So they says, you know what? I want to protect orphans. I want to fight for them. I want them to have enough so that they don't suffer the things I suffered when I was growing up. Right? Pastor Joy and I were talking just a few minutes ago about how we think you are privileged to be going through all of this mentorship program. And he said that when he was your age, he didn't have this kind of mentorship. And if he had it, where he would have been by now, the things he would have been doing by now. So somehow he has channeled that passion towards what? Mentoring people like you. That is his experience. I hope you're understanding it. So the question we're asking you this evening is, what is your experience? What are some of the things you've experienced that is giving you a cause to want to do something? Right? Somebody was born into poverty. Seeing your mother and father always fighting because of money. Your mother goes to ask your mom money, your mother doesn't have, so they will quarrel, and there's slapping, and there's fighting, and there's shouting at each other. You are there, you are watching them, say, hey, poverty, poverty, poverty. So when it's like that, you call the poverty. So he says, you know what? I'm going to fight poverty in my life. I'll make sure everything I can do to become rich and make sure that people who are in poverty are taken out of poverty. They are eradicated from poverty. Somebody said, my experience, I saw our church, they're always struggling to build things in the community, to do things that could promote the work of God. I want to be part of funding church. So I want to become a church financier. When projects are being raised, they don't have people contributing to it. That is how I want to support. Or I know I can't go and hold the crusades, but I want to give money to support the crusade. What are your experiences? What are the things for which you want to do something? What are your experiences? I want you to write 3 experiences you've had, or things that have happened that you observe. Some of you, it's not even about you. You just observed it in the community. And, you know, it's your experience. Can be either you saw it, either you felt it, either somebody talked to you about it and it caught your attention, right? So 3 things. I want you to write 3 things. 3 experiences. 3 experiences. 3 experiences. 3 experiences. So like I mentioned to you, there could be 3 or more, right? But just want you to write 3 down. So somebody was raised by a single parent, and you saw what it is like. So you said, no, it doesn't have to be other people's experience. So I'll become a counselor and counsel people about relationship and about marriage so that they will get their marriage right, so that they will not be separated for the children to suffer. I want to become a counselor. That's experience, right? I've seen how the children have suffered inferiority complex because of that situation. I don't want it to happen to people, right? I've seen young people, teenage pregnancy, and how it affected their lives. And I saw how they were struggling to raise young people. Or maybe you are a product of a teenage pregnancy, and you've seen how your parent, either a male or female, if it's a man or the female that is you are with, how they've suffered. You've seen divorce happen and how divorce has had impact on the lives of people, your life and the people involved. Experiences. So you're passionate about it. So is there. I know, right? Okay. So how have you written that down? You've written that down. Okay. So at this point, I would want to hand over the mic to Pastor Joy so he put in perspective for us what we've written and the projects that we'll be working on and all of that. And then we can try to wrap it up. So let's welcome Pastor Joy.
Come on, put your hands together for the man, the manka. In actual sense, we call him the man, the manka. And the wife is called the woman, the manka. Okay? You can even see it branded on his dress. Okay, that's good. So the man, the manka. All right. We want to thank God so much for where we've reached. It's been a very intense training. You will not know that things are entering, but you live here to feel that you have reached a different perspective on life. And I'm excited for you. Now, we want to connect the shape. One of our third objective, who can remember, what's the first objective for these 2 days intensive? Objective 1. Okay, objective 1 is to do what? Okay, raise your hand and tell me. Raise your hand. What is objective 1? No, for the seminar, not for the Change Agent Development Initiative. For yesterday and today's seminar, we set 3 objectives. Okay? That number 1, you develop what? A strong Christian worldview. And that you develop strong Christian beliefs and values that guide you and help you navigate and make you take decisions and act. Do you remember that? Okay, what's the second objective for this intensive? All right, the second one is that everybody should be able to develop what? A strategic life plan. Okay, so all these things that we are learning, they are to help you to be able to develop the strategic life plan. So we talk about the elements of a strategic life plan, the things that make up a strategic life plan, isn't it? So, okay, we say you must have your purpose statement. So right now, you've tried to discover your purpose. So you must be able to carve your purpose statement from it. Is that okay? That's also a skill. Then, now you have the knowledge. You need the skill to be able to carve it. Is that okay? Then you must have your vision, you must have your mission, you must have what? Your core values. So from the worldview and all that we've done, you can define your core values. Then, after the core value, you must have your long-term, medium-term, and what? Short-term goals. I didn't say short-term, medium-term, and long-term. I said what? Long-term, medium-term, and what? Short-term goals. Because we are working backwards. Is that okay? We are first seeing you, if Jesus tarries, we are first seeing you at 75, 80, 82, lying in state in the casket. And they are reading your tributes. And you are determining what they read as your tribute. What you want to be read about you. Is that okay? And so we are working from there backward. So that's your vision. Then we have the long-term goals, medium-term goals, and then your short-term goals and your action points now. Is that okay? So you don't talk about short-term, long-term, short-term, mid-term, and then long-term. You talk about what? Long-term, mid-term, and what? Short-term goals. All right, so if you're able to set it, then you can develop your strategic action plan to back it, which will help you align your resources. For instance, right now, I may choose to buy books than to buy maybe pizza or something. Because by my goals, I want to read more books. It will help you direct your resources. You will not waste it, your resources. Okay. Now, so we will develop that. Then the third objective is what? What is our third objectives? Objective is to, everybody should be able to what? Come out with a change initiative. Everybody must own a change project. Is that okay? All right. Come on, wave to me. Is that okay? All right. Okay, so we want to connect the shape, our purpose and shape, to the kind of projects you do. Now, pay attention to this in 1 minute. So, in the shape, you must note this, that your spiritual gifts and then your abilities and half of your experiences, this we can label it A. This, okay, E. So they are enablers. Okay? So these things are things that enable you to be able to do something. So if you want to do something, you will depend on your gifts and your abilities and some of the experiences you have. That will, of course, give you certain skills to be able to carry it out. Okay? So if you don't have a gift of administration and you want to go into a project that is administration related, you are going to struggle. You may eventually do it, but you will not excel in it. So your gifts and your abilities, which are your talents, and then your experiences, which gives you certain skills, they enable you to be able to do. Now, what about the H and the P? The H and the P, which is your heart, and then your personality, and half of your experiences, they give you a cause. So we have CCC, a cause. So it's something you want to live for. Is that okay? Your heart, what you are passionate about, gives you a cause you want to live for. You know, your personality helps you for something you want to live for. And your experiences help you to live for something. Is that okay? All right. So now what we are going to do is that don't set up on a career path that is not in the domain of your ship. You will not excel. You will not excel. You may end up being an average person. But if you locate yourself in your shape, and that defines your course of career, you are going to excel. All right? There are two players in the world now, Messi and Ronaldo. Messi and Ronaldo are very good players. They've been juggling between who is the GOAT. Is that okay? But yes, Ronaldo is gifted. Messi is also gifted. But you see, Messi is more naturally gifted than Ronaldo. And Ronaldo, through training, combined with his little gifting, is excelling. And Messi is also excelling. But it's not mine for you to judge who is the greater. But when you look at Messi, it's a different thing. He's able to make play. Ronaldo is able to do something, but he needs support to be able to. Messi can create something. So they asked Maurice, how do we call it? Guardiola, is it Guardiola? What is it? The Man City coach, Pep. They asked him, the new striker they have. What is the name? Haaland. They asked him, Haaland and Messi. So let me remove Ronaldo. Let's use Haaland and Messi. Haaland is somebody who needs support. He can score goals, but that guy cannot create. He can't create. The ball must reach him and he puts in. But if you leave him to dribble and create chances, go to midfield to stabilize things, he cannot do it. Messi he's multi-utilitarian. He can come to midfield to assist. He can stabilize. When he chooses to score, he can go forward. He can pass balls and assist. So even between him and Ronaldo, you see that Messi's assist in scoring goal is higher than Ronaldo. Is that okay? So the natural gifts and talents will definitely come in to play. So what does it mean? If you don't have ability to swim, you are not carved for swimming. You are not a fish. It's better to train a fish for swimming than to put a bird in water to teach swimming. The bird may eventually learn to swim, but the bird cannot compete with the fish in the water. Why? Because the fish is shaped to swim. The bird is shaped to fly. So when you take him to swim, he may eventually acquire the ability, but he will not excel in it. And it's the opposite. You can't bring a fish out to teach it to fly. It may be able to move on the land, but when you put it in the bed, but when you train a bird, then it becomes something serious. So Titi Ofe will tell you that we have the natural people, the trained people, and the naturally trained people. You must work within the domain of naturally trained. Okay? Some people are leaders naturally. You don't need to teach them. When they get to a place, they organize something. And then there are some people you have to train them to become leaders. But if you are natural and you are trained, that is the best. So locate your shape and build yourself in your shape. Is that very clear? Okay. So what are we going to do? Sorry, I think I made a mistake. Please, your personality is also part of enablers. All right? So the two things that determine your course is your heart and half of your experiences. Those are the things that determine your course. So I want you to watch something here. We have okay, so when you go to your Cadi page right now, if you're on WhatsApp, you go to Cadi page, you will see a file, a PDF file that I have sent to you. Is called Vision and Mission Exercise. The PDF title is called Vision and Mission Exercise. You can go to page 9 of that document. And, sorry, I thought it was being displayed. And then you can see something. Now, so here, as displayed on the screen, we have courses. Now, let's go to the heart. Okay? Now, when we come to your heart, we talked about your passion, then there are three things you look for. We have what we call the roles, and then we have the people, the role you have heart for, the roles you have heart for, the people you have heart for, and then the cause you have heart for. For instance, I'm into mentoring and people development, but I don't have, my heart is for youth and young adults. I don't really have heart for adults and citizens. I love children, but I don't have heart to train them. My heart is for youth and young adults. So in your passion, you must know number one, the role you want to play, the role you have heart for, the people you have heart for, and the cause you have heart for. But for now, I want us to focus on the cause, the causes we have heart for. And that is what I wanted to look at here. Now, there are about 60 different causes that you can have a heart for when you go into that document. Some people have heart, the cause they want to commit to is the environment. So when they see things going wrong with the environment, they are very angry. So when you buy something and you throw the rubber out, they are thinking that this rubber is going to cause environmental degradation, and they are angry. So when people are cutting trees, they are angry. They want to see more trees planted. It is a cause. It is in their, that's what they are passionate about. But it is the cause they want to commit to. Some people want to commit to education. They hate illiteracy. So they want to see people educated. Some people have a heart for healthcare. They want to do something about healthcare. So you have these causes, so you can commit to the cause of championing healthcare. That will be your passion. And I think as I watch Raymond has a heart for healthcare. So he wants to go into it. So we can go on. Some people have a heart for children, the safety and the well-being of children. Some for the homeless. So when you meet such people, they say, I want to build an orphanage. I want to build a house for the homeless and that sort of thing. Some have energy, some have for justice system. Justice. They want to see justice. Like the lawyer we saw. His passion is justice. And then some have for veterans. So some have for family issues. Some have for media, agriculture, and the sort of things. So this is every project you want to do, you must first determine what your heart, your passion, what you are passionate about. Then you can excel in it. Do you understand me? So you have to match any change project you want to do. You must match it with what? With your passion. That is when it will succeed. If it is not your passion, I'm telling you, you are going to struggle with it. Is that okay? Cadi team, is everybody here with me? This is a very important thing. When it was relationship, I saw all of you seated nicely. So let's do. These are the concluding moments, and this is very key. Okay. So if you have the document there, they've already asked you to write your passion. So have you listed your passion, your heart, and your heart, and those I saw them asking you to do. Somebody listed. What is yours?
I have 4 years about the homeless.
Homeless. You wrote homeless. Okay, so it is there. All right. Okay. Who can also share one of the passions? Yes.
People with disabilities.
People with disability is also there. Disability is in there. Okay. Who can be the last person who will share with me one of the? Raymond, did you write? Yes, Bene. Adolescent. As for her, I know it. She's passionate about the adolescent. Adolescent health, adolescent formation, and she's always talk about it. And we have problems here. So the thing you have discovered now, the thing you have written as your passion, this is the exercise I want you to do in 1 minute. Look around your community. Where do you stay? You live in Ho, or you came from Accra, or you come from Volta region or Greater Accra. Look around and see your passion area. Do you find a problem in society that falls within your passion area? Are you here with me? Can you identify a problem in society right now that falls within what? Your passion area. You are talking about the homeless. That is your passion. That is a cause you want to champion. Do you have a problem in society about the homeless? When you look at your area or Ghana, are there issues? So, are you here with me? Come on, are you here with me? All right. Have you identified your passion? You listed it. They've done that already. So I want you to identify a problem, a cause you are committed to. Identify one challenge in society in Ghana that relates to your passion area. Can we attempt that? All right. There is a dimension we didn't use in this. As we come into these workshops and we are talking, usually I have my facilitators walking around. Because as I walk around, I discovered that some people were disconnected. It means they were not following, they were not understanding the concept, or they had gone passive. But if I have my facilitators, you have no choice. Everybody must be, whatever we are doing, you must do it. Is that okay? But it's quite lenient in this first intensive. The second intensive is going to be on a different level. Okay? All right. So, what will happen is that you see your tables, 3, 3, 3, as you are on the table. At least let one person come up, you discuss your passions and try to identify a problem in society that relates to your area of passion. Do you understand? Let's do that exercise. I want each table to come up with one. Write a passion and write a related problem in Ghana or in society or in your community or even in your workplace. It can even be in your workplace. Maybe the school you attended, you identify something that is a problem in relation to your passion or your institution. Can we do that in 1 minute? Okay? Am I clear enough? Okay, let's get going. Just 1 minute. Okay, and I want to see everybody working, discussing or something. All right? My experience is poverty. Number one, lack of opportunity to maximize my potentials. And lack of proper mentorship. My father did well. He actually mentored us. But for my father, so, and he was always serious about people coming up, coming to achieve their potentials and destiny. Education. Wow. both and we'll do the, I'm thinking we'll take them through the online. We'll produce 10-minute presentations on it with the steps, a series of videos, and we can exercise the 10 minutes so that they want to feel, they want to feel. Okay, that we are saying that. Okay. Okay, let's use 1 minute to wind up. Okay. Clap for yourselves. You have done well. Okay. I want to take 5 examples. So I need 5 tables to come and share. This one, you must be, Auntie Franca. All right. Okay. And then we are, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Oh, clap. The thing is working now. The thing is working. I love it. So come and share yours. No, you go and stand there, share, and then you write passion and then the problem. Do you understand? You can go as a team. As one person talks, one person writes. Let's clap for them. Let's receive them. Yeah.
Okay, so with the passion, it's about child labor or child abuse, child labor and abuse.
Let me help you. Okay. Hey, you are tall. Okay. So passion, problem. Okay. Yeah, okay, continue.
Okay, so
Are you listening to him? Good.
child labor and abuse. And then the problem is that we have a lot of children below the ages of 15, the age of 15, in whole year. When you get to the market, you see them pushing wheelbarrow. Some are selling yam. You see a very little girl carrying like 10 tubers of yam. And then we see others selling pure water in traffic and the likes.
Okay.
So that is the problem.
Okay. So the problem is that we have, can we put it this way? Children in child labor are the, okay, children in child labor in the market and on the streets of Ho. Then you can give example, pushing wheelbarrow, selling, and the sort of thing. Is that okay? That is, we just capture the problem like that. So children in child labor, please take the duster. All right. Clap for them. So as they complete it, God bless you. So their passion is about child labor and abuse. Is that okay? And then they have identified a problem that in Ho, there are children below the ages of 15 who are out there in the market pushing wheelbarrow and doing all kinds of things. Let's put our hands together for them. Can you please take your seat? The next, Franca and your team, can you come and share yours quickly? Somebody come and write while she speaks. Let's be fast. Is it getting interesting now? Okay. So all the training we have is just preparing us for these 2 things. All right? Okay. Then you will now understand the importance of worldview. The albatross subject. All right. Good. Okay. All right. Okay. All right, I think let's leave it there. We understand. Clap for them. Clap for Constance and Agatha and my own blood. God will use you mightily. Watch it. Yeah. Okay, can you talk to us first
Okay. Ours is just talking about empowering young ladies.
Now,
to
what is the passion?
Yes, the passion is empowering young ladies to acquire skills.
Okay, so your passion is women empowerment, isn't it?
No, it's not about women, ladies, like young.
Okay,
rising
so
ladies.
your passion is, you see, she's trying to, we said your heart is what? The the person, the cause, and the role. Is that okay? So she's very particular about the people they are passionate. He said, not women, young ladies. Okay, okay. How can we call it? That's youth, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, female youth, right? Passion is what? Female youth empowerment. Female youth empowerment. And we are happy to have here the regional something for women, United Nations women, is it director or manager? The United Nations women organizer for Volta region is right behind there. All right, Mrs. Millicent Gajanko. Powerful. You say you want to work with UN or World Health. You have the people, start talking to them. All right. And she's also the regional director for girl child education, Volta region. And these are the two. So we have a very powerful. So the thing you are talking about, so I'll give her to you as a mentor. Accepted. Come on, put your hands together. All right. Okay. Yeah. All right.
The problem is due to unemployment.
Among the young ladies. Okay, put your hands together for them. Okay. All right, we clap for you. Let's have the next group. So this kind of people, you see Mercy and Agatha and her squad, we can do the same women empowerment, but if you give them elderly women, they will fail. But you give them young ladies and they will succeed. Because their passion, their heart is not towards women, but towards these people. Do you understand? Okay. I saw, yes. Let's clap for the next group. Always make sure your names are displayed. Grace, okay? These things were not just done because we wanted to decorate you. It's very important to enhance interaction. Okay? So Grace, Fodela. Oh, I like the Fodela. And then we have Auntie Laura. Let's put our hands together for them. Okay.
Okay, we had our passion to be agriculture.
So your passion is in agriculture.
Yes.
Give me in fact, I'll connect with you, okay? Because the way Ghana is going, we need energy for farming.
Yeah.
All right. Put your hands together for them. They are very straightforward. Yes, yes. I can see a Kwabena Daku rising up out of this place. A giant, okay? Hey, may somebody rise to produce enough cereal to feed Ghana. Amen. All right. I think we have the last two. I saw this table too. Okay, yeah, Sister Benny, let's take the last one. Put your hands together for that one man, one woman champion. Okay, so you talk and write.
Okay,
Or can the volunteer write for her? I hope you've not taken my markers away. Okay. Auntie Vic is coming to write for you. Yeah, so what is your passion?
adolescent empowerment.
Okay, adolescent empowerment is a passion.
So what I've observed is that they have...
Oh! Vic, you have erased some people's passion. Saka, come back. You just write below.
Okay, so the problem that I identify with them is that they fail to identify the potential they have.
Talking to the, yeah.
They fail to identify the potential they have in them. So I'm trying to help them train their mind to focus and discipline about everything they want to do to be successful in life.
Okay, so the problem is that
they fail to identify the potential.
Lack of purpose and lack of purpose and focus or something. No, lack of Lack of purpose and potential. Potential discovery. Okay, lack of purpose and potential discovery. Okay, let's put our hands together for her. So now we have 4. What was here? Is it children? Child labor. So write it back. All right. So you see how passion matches with what? With identifying problems. Now, the person with the agriculture, can they build a business around it? Yes. So in the next intensive, we'll be dealing with enterprise development. All right? And there are 2 broad types of enterprise development. We have what we call the commercial enterprises, which is what you do to make money. Then we have what we call the social enterprises that try to bring transformation into society, being profitable but not enriching the people. So you make profit by reinvest it in community transformation. So we'll teach you how you can build sustainable enterprises around this. And I'm praying that an agricultural giant will rise from our midst. Somebody who will solve Ghana's food problem. I'm telling you, as I'm speaking, the word is entering somebody. And it's going to happen. Is that okay? All right. So all these things you have, you can build an enterprise around it, and that enterprise will transform Ghana. Zoom Lion has done so. And now Ghana is cleaner because of Zoom Lion. Before Zoom Lion, Ghana was not good. Even with Zoom Lion, we still have a long way to go. So maybe you will do Lion, and that will be your company. All right? Okay? All right. Okay. So all of us must be able to know our passion, our shape, and be able to use it to diagnose a problem in society. And then the next thing that you have to do after you found the problem is to be able to develop a project or a business around the problem, so to solve the problem and eliminate it. Okay? So that business or program or initiative is what we call the change project. That's also what change project? Or what we call the solution. Okay? So you design a change project and take an initiative, you are building an initiative which provides the solution to the problem. So by the time you are executing that, we are eliminating that from society, your chosen area. And we want to celebrate thousands of these projects. Is that okay? And that is how the kingdom brings impact. Why? Because by our worldview, we believe that God wants to bring his kingdom. And in the kingdom of God, certain things don't exist. So by our kingdom worldview, how will God want our society to be? Anything we see that is not as God will, not in earth, not as in heaven, then we must align in earth as in heaven. So this is where the worldview begins to come in. And you are doing that course not because you want to show off or anything, but because you are doing it as a partner of God who is advancing the cause of God in the earth. And you extend your influence. So all the things we started trying to build a theory, it was difficult to comprehend, and all those things are necessary. They are very necessary. They are principles that are going to undergird all the things you are going to do. And as you do this, imagine you are fulfilling destiny. You are building a winning destiny. If one person can emerge from us and solve Ghana's food problem, like Joseph, solve that Ghana can have cereals. The silo are so made down that have been there since Nkrumah built it. You see how tall the silo is? It means that that's how much cereal Nkrumah wanted to store for the Volta region. And he had those silos in every region. So imagine we have maize, beans, rice, filling that thing. We'll eat for 2 years, who will be fed. But that's a huge silo. Why is our silo not holding 2 bags of maize? Why? It is time somebody will arise from here and say, Lord, you don't want your people to be hungry. Give us this day our daily bread. Use me to fulfill that in the life of Ghana. And as you do, an anointing will come upon you. A grace will come upon you. You have the connections. And before you realize, by the next 2-3 years, you are a major agricultural entrepreneur. And that you are transforming the situation of Ghana. Do we understand that? So this is what we are going to do. So we'll end. I'll end my thing here, and then we are going away in the next 30 minutes. Okay? So this is how we are going to approach it. So all the things we are teaching you are being directed towards somebody. Please, if you are a change agent and you have won this tag, your life cannot be useless. Do you know useless lives? They are lives that don't contribute anything to society. They only take from society to feed, and they don't make any impact. As you are sitting here, whether you believe in yourself or not, whether your experiences have been negative or not, whether they know your family name, whether your father is a palm wine tapper or a peasant farmer, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you step into this program and God has put something in you. You are rising from here to come up with initiatives under the inspiration of the Holy Spirit. And I see that in the next 3, 5, 7 years, we'll hear your name, we'll celebrate you. I'll see you on television being interviewed by the BBC and DW because you are solving Africa's problem. I don't know who I'm talking to, but you are the right person I'm talking to. You are rising up to be used by God to provide solutions and transform society. Are you the one I'm talking to? And that is what is good. I know what I'm talking about. I've told you this thing has been on for 15 years. We have fasted and prayed for you. We fasted and prayed for you. So you are not just here. This thing is a heaven is in this matter. And we prayed that anyone who take part in this, the Lord raise a world changer out of them. So in answer to our prayer, if you are here, the oil of a world changer has located your head. And the Spirit of God is coming upon you. The same way God found Joseph and used him to transform Egypt's economy, I see an anointing resting upon your head. You rise up to transform an aspect of society. And it will bring glory to God. Hallelujah. I am happy for you. I'm very happy for you. And I told, somebody called me from the US and said, I came to preach in their church on campus and I gave him a prophecy. Usually, when the Holy Spirit speaks through me, after some time, when you ask me, I don't remember. It's people who come to say, so he said, now he's a top military general in the US Army. You see the special forces thing we watch? When he finished the special forces, he sent a message and said, don't joke with me. If you come against me, you are in trouble. He knew what he went through. And now when you see him, you yourself, you know that, Charlie, this guy, be careful. Okay? And there is a guy now on TV, Eric Barr, some artists, we spoke into his life, and a lot of things. So what I'm telling you, that in the next 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 7 years, we will celebrate you. We will see a documentary produced on you. Believe me, I'm speaking over you as a prophet of God. And I'm speaking a word which shall accomplish its purpose in your life. And let me tell you, this word will defy your background. It will defy your past. What is that? The word has gone forth and it is taking hold of you. You are rising to make an impact. And God will use you for a change agent. It is resting upon you. Amen. So every one of you will be reaching you with an assignment. You are going to list your passion. We'll send you a template. You list your passion. You list the problem you have identified. You list the solution you want to craft. We'll now begin to teach you how to write a concept note. And then you develop a project plan. And you can also develop an enterprise plan, which we call business plan. And then we'll be teaching you how to resource your enterprise budget, not through only seeking for finances, but through networking, lobbying, leveraging. Okay? Somebody was saying that he needed money to buy something to start some food business. I said, why do you need money? I said, do you have friends? Do they have saucepans? He said, yes. Go take one saucepan for this person, take ladder for this person, collect the extra coal pot from this person, put it together, and come for some small money, buy the food stuff and start. Whew. Second trouble. This table now, there is something about it. You have the overflowing anointing working here. Everything is overflowing. All right, this is the third thing they will change on this table. Okay, so that's it. So when you want to say, you said, some people say, I need money, I'm waiting to get money. You ask them how much money. They said they don't know. You say you want to start a business, I need a fridge. How much is a fridge? I don't know. You are not serious. You see, you are not serious. You are not ready for it. Is that okay? But if you know lobbying and negotiation, have you heard about Nehemiah? What did Nehemiah do? Yes, who can tell me? What change did Nehemiah bring about? Hey, Christians, what did Nehemiah do? He built, this serious, everybody will stand up. If you answer, you sit down. So the walls of Jerusalem were broken, the city was burned, and there was shame. What did he do? Where was he? He was in the palace, serving wine to the king. And then he heard that, he became broken, his heart. They said when he heard about the state of Jerusalem, he wept. You see, that is where his heart was, his passion. So he matched his passion to the problem of Jerusalem. And then he devised a solution. How did he resource the solution? You see the story I told you about the guy who went to solve the furniture problem? Most of you would have been looking for 100,000 to buy seeds from China. That's a wrong way of looking at things. The guy said there are trees in that village. They have a chainsaw operator. They have carpenters. The chief owns the tree. They can buy fuel. So he went and, so you saw what he did? He leveraged on the resources of the village to create a solution. You don't need to go looking for huge money. Like this program we've had, we leverage on our relationships. So it's our social capital. All the things we are doing here is from our social capital. Largely me and my wife, our social capital. The people we've brought here are from our social capital. So what kind of friends do you keep? Do you understand me? That's why you must take your social network seriously. We didn't have this seat, the table here, one is how much? One goes for how much? Rental. 15 cities. So we have at least 30 of them here. So 15 times 30, that's what? 350, isn't it? Is that it? Hey, 10 is 350. Is that it? So times 3. So that's about 1,050 per day. So for the 2 days, the tables alone is 2,000 something. Is that okay? Now, the tablecloths we are using, they are renting it for how much? 10 cities. So 30 of them. All right? Every 30 of them is 300 times 2. That's 600. So the table and the cloths alone, to create this kind of enabling environment, you need 3,000. You know, if it were some of you, you'll be waiting and praying to get 3,000 to organize this program. I didn't need 3,000. So I know somebody who I have good reputation before. So you see that your life of integrity, your life of discipline will give you the currency. So Nehemiah didn't raise money to go and rebuild Jerusalem. Do you know the money he used? We call it his integrity currency. He was a disciplined and an excellent person before the king. So when he went before the king, what he used to gain the resources to rebuild Jerusalem was his integrity before the king. So what is your integrity currency? Can people do things for you because of how they know you? A lady wanted to do something for this church, and I said, call the accountant, get the number of the church and send the money. She watched me and said, I trust you, that when I give you the money to get to the church. Can they say that about you? And she sent the money, and I sent the money to the church. Do you have integrity? Do you have your social your social currency? Okay, what do you have that you can leverage on? So we went to the owner. The owner of these things is my wife's uncle. So I went to him. Those of you who fight with your in-laws, you fight with everybody. You can't show your face to even say that you are organizing anything. You fight. You have bad reputation. Every channel of blessing, you've blocked it with bad behavior. That man respects me, and because I hold him in respect, and the way I conduct myself in the family. I'm telling you, my wife's sister, when she sees me there, she's like stand at ease or something, and I was not comfortable. That's if you conduct yourself well, you earn respect. So we just went to him and I said, Uncle, we want you to sponsor our table and tablecloths. He said, oh, come for it. They will only hire it on Friday. You can use it. And he gave us all this. How much? 3,000 free. By what? The currency of relationship. The currency of relationship. So you don't need money. All those I mentor, the first thing I teach them when it comes to resources is I train them on what I call cashless, moneyless projects. Moneyless project. Did we put money here for you to sit on? Money doesn't do anything. Money acquires things that we use to do things. So if you can get the things without money, go without money and get the things. And that's it. And it's all relationship. Is that okay? All right. So we'll teach you how to resource your things. So some of you say, I need money to do business. About 80% of you that say you need money to do business, you don't need any money to do any business. You don't need it. You have the things there. It's because, one, maybe you don't have the integrity. You don't have any currency in your integrity account. Okay? Today, Daddy drove here. That's a big man. He was going to work. He drove here to see to it that whether they are going to do light up the plant and everything works. And that man, I respect that man. I hold him like this. But that man comes down and interacts with me, and I don't take it for granted. And everything, if you hold integrity and you are disciplined and you know how to live you eat with kings. You eat with kings. So the basic things we are teaching you about self-comportment, self-discipline, the law of differentiation. I can't see Mr. Brefa and know that because he calls himself senior youth, so I'll just go to him and touch, hey, senior, I'll do that. When I say, oh, senior youth, how are you? And then if he stretches his hand, I do. If I go to his hand, I'm disciplined. I don't take it because that man is higher than me. So you don't get, for the fact that your pastor is not, doesn't mean that you see your pastor in town. No, hey, pastor, what's up? I've seen a lot. You don't respect. You don't have wisdom. They taught you the 9 types of wisdom. Your father is your father. No matter how nice your father is. You can joke and crack joke and be free, but there must be a boundary and a level of reverence you give to him. Those are the kind of things we are talking about. And then So you must have that integrity. The word is not currency. The word has, capital. Your social capital and your integrity capital. Is that okay? You use it. And then the second thing, which is what we are closing on, is that you must know what we call lobbying, networking, and lobbying for leveraging. You leverage on what? Through networking and what? And lobbying. How do you network to leverage? And how do you lobby? Oh, what are the doctors and the nurses here? Tafaga, we have a major project there. I came to your emergency accidents and emergency ward, and I called my friend doctor. I said, come, let's stand, let's see the way things are going. Me, with my engineering operations, your operational systems here are fake, are not correct. They are not efficient. So an accident victim comes, they put him on the bed somewhere, the nurses and the doctor station is there, and you go to make an inquiry, which doctor is assigned to this person, you cannot find it, and when is the person's next medication, you cannot, there is no screen displaying names and times for medical administration. There is no, you go and then you are looking for which doctor attended to my mother, and who has taken over from that doctor. And they say, oh, the doctor who attended to your mother is gone home. He will come back tomorrow morning. And you are waiting for the doctor to come back tomorrow morning to have conversations about your patient. And I called him and I said, no, what is going on here is not acceptable. So what do? We have, when you go there as a change agent, you must be able to diagnose these things. And then you don't go criticizing him. You go, he will be teaching. So you go with what solution are you? He talked about it. Daniel said, I'll not eat the king's food. So what is the alternative? Give us vegetables. And he said, then assess us. So Dr. Tampori, he's the director there. I don't know whether they have changed him. So Dr. Tampori, I am a new doctor here. I've observed this and this and this. I've done research. I understand the problem here. This is my proposed solution. Can we try this for 2 weeks? And let's assess it. If it doesn't work, we give up to it. Lobbying and negotiation. 2 weeks' time, the place has changed. They'll call you, okay, can you come to OPD? Can you do something for us? My friend, the next time scholarship comes, you think you wait for 4 years to get scholarship? You lie bad. Let's get serious. So let's close as we receive the man Damanka to speak to us briefly in 20 minutes on networking and lobbying. Put your hands together as we enter the last session. Honor, please. Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor Joy. I think Pastor Joy has done my work. You should clap for him. It's been a marathon, right? But that's what destiny is about. I must submit to you, Martin Luther King died at the age of 39. He didn't reach 40. But Martin Luther King is one of the persons that is highly regarded in the world. How many of you know about Martin Luther King Jr.? If you don't know, go and read about him. But he died at the age of 39. Sometimes I try not to think about it that way. And I want to live a long life. That's actually what he said. And I'll try and play that video for you before. He said he wants to live a long life. But if he does not, he's not able to live it. He wants to be able to have accomplished whatever he was meant to have fulfilled. And somehow, by the age of 39, he was dead. I pray for a long life for all of us, including myself. But the question I want to ask is that, but if it's in God's timing, that in the next 30 years or in the next 40 years, your assignment would have been done, would you have fulfilled it? That's a question you need to ask yourself. So time is not on our side. That is why we run in a marathon, because I want you to die empty, like die having fulfilled the assignment you were called to do. And we don't have the time. Time is far gone. The things we should have accomplished by now, we've not done it. So if we decide to stay 2 days here to get to unpack it so you can run, let's do it. So clap for yourselves. I think you've done a good job. You've done a good job. And God bless you for spending time. But I believe these 2 days have been very, very, very impactful for most of you. And when you sit down and you begin to unpack most of the things you've learned, your life is changed for a long time to come. I would like us to read something in the book of Daniel. Daniel chapter 1 verse 8. We'll read from verse 8. But I want us to watch a video because I don't want to spend so much time talking about this. So let's watch this video on lobbying. All right? You with me? So kindly take your seat. It's just a short period of video. Because most of you, what you're going to be doing, your project, you have to campaign. And you have to lobby. Right? And lobbying is part of what you have to do. So watch this brief video and then we'll look at what Daniel did. All right? And then I'll play the Martin Luther King video for you. Very brief videos, short videos. And then you'll see what we're talking about.
Let's have a closer look at lobby and advocacy campaigns. A lobby and advocacy campaign can be a very powerful tool to reach your goals. If done right, that is. In order to be successful, a campaign needs to be based on a sound understanding of the situation you're active in and the issues you're working on. It needs to be clear in its demands and strategic in its approach. And while all of this is easier said than done, none of this is actually rocket science. So let me give you a few tips. Here are 11 simple steps that help you to develop a highly effective lobby and advocacy campaign. Step number 1. Be clear why your organization actually exists. Start by focusing on your organization and the work you have been involved in. What is the vision that inspires you and your colleagues? What is the mission that guides your day-to-day operations? What are the values that are reflected in your organizational setup in the way you interact with others around you? What is the added value?
All right, so the first one is what? You should do what? So be clear about your project. Be clear about the people you are running the project with. So that's your organization, really. Hope you're understanding. All right, sure. Oh.
Area you're working in and the people you're working for. Make sure you have answers to all these questions before you consider running a lobby and advocacy campaign. Good. Now step number 2. Know the people on whose behalf you work. Gain a better understanding about the people on whose behalf you work.
So on your project, whom will you be working for? So if you go into a community and you've identified a problem, you want to know which people the problem is affecting. They are the people you're working for. Are you clear on that? So the first one is know yourself and be clear about your organization and your objective and whatever projects you're going to be doing or whatever you are going to be lobbying for. Right? Secondly, know the people you are lobbying for. Who are the constituents of the place that you are actually to solve the problem? They are the people you're lobbying for, right? Okay.
Challenges they face and the way they would like these issues to be addressed. What do they expect from you and your engagement in their lives? What is the relationship you have with this group of people? What can you realistically offer? Once that is done, explore the implications all this has for the mandate you have to work on their behalf. Step number 3, develop your campaign goal. In a third step, you then develop...
The third one is to do what? Develop your goals. So what goal? What's the reason for which you want to lobby? What's the goal of the project? What's the goal of the campaign? You want to be able to clearly define that. So if you're going to lobby, what's the goal for which you're going to do the lobby? We'll look at that Daniel story just to relate, but I wanted to pick these things up.
Your initial campaign goal. If you want to make sure you do not set yourself up for disappointment right from the start, then don't be overambitious. To get things right, there are a few points you need to have in mind when spelling out your campaign goal. Make sure it's SMART. Yes, SMART as in specific, measurable, achievable, relevant and time-bound. You probably heard about this abbreviation before. Formulate it in a way that it has a clear call to action. This will make it much easier for the addressees to pick it up and act on it. And make sure you double-check that you work towards something that is well within your sphere of influence and not just within your wider field of interest.
Did you hear what it says? You are working on something that is within what? Your sphere of influence. We've talked about that. We talked about your space, your passion, your all of that. So that's what he's talking about. So whatever cause you want to go and lobby for, or which you're campaigning for, whatever it is, it should be within your sphere of what? Influence, okay?
That leads us to step number 4, know the decision-making process. With the campaign goal clearly spelled out, you now need to analyze the decision-making process that relates to this very goal. What kind of process are we looking at? A formal or an informal one? Or is it only a one-off decision? Who is involved? When are the best chances to have an input into the process? This step here is all about analyzing the process through which key decisions in relation to your campaign goal are made. It's about identifying promising entry points to engage with the process in a constructive way. It's all about increasing your chances to affecting the process and its outcomes. Step number 5, assess your organization for the campaign.
So when you're going to lobby, you need to understand the process by which a decision can be reached on what you are lobbying for. Are you clear with me? Okay, so example, you go to the village. You want to propose a solution to the king. How will the king finally come to a conclusion on the decision? It's possible the king will call the elders. So the decision-making process will involve what? The elders. Now, if you know it would involve the elders, and it will involve elder 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you know all of those elder 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, don't just go and talk to the king. You want to find out who the elder 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is, and try to talk to them about the same issue and have their buy-in. We call it buy-in. Convince them to see why the project is important. Do you know why? Because then when they go before the king, they will talk on your behalf before the king. So you have numbers, because those elders will be voting in the king's house on the decision to take. So you need to appreciate and understand what the decision process will be in finally arriving at the decision that will help your cause. That's what he's talking about. I hope you are clear on that.
Now it's time to change focus again and have another look at your organization. After having developed a sound understanding of the issues that need to be addressed, after having spelled out the initial campaign goal and having analyzed the decision-making process that relates to this goal, it's now time to see if you're well placed to develop and run a successful campaign in this given context. What is your expertise? What are your resources? What is your access to key actors in the process? And what is your level of acceptance with them? All these questions need to be answered honestly before you can move on to step number 6. And step number 6, that is...
So access your campaign. So probably you're going to do something in Dome, or maybe Ahoy, or whatever village you're going to. There are people in the village that are influential people in the village itself. They are the actors in the village. So you want to make sure you have any of those people on your team. Do you understand? It's not a place you are well known in. But there are 2 or 3 people in that community who are influential people. Get them on your team. Apart from that, get other people who have other skill sets that are relevant. Maybe you are not a good public speaker, but you are the one who is championing the campaign. So get on board somebody who speaks so well and is able to be persuasive, right? Get on board other people. Maybe somebody is a good organizer. Get the person on board in your campaign. Right? So you want to really evaluate your organization, assess it. What resources do you have available that will make your campaign stronger? That's what he's talking about. I hope you're understanding it. So if you needed somebody who is a good organizer, get him onto your team. If you have somebody who probably is a good speaker, get the person on the team. Those are the resources you have to go and lobby. I hope you're clear on that. All right.
Identifying others working on the same issue. This step is all about analyzing who else...
So this one, it says